Hey everybody, welcome back to Slavic Saturday, where we talk about Slavic history, mythology, and folklore. My name is Brendan Noble, author of the Frostmarked Chronicles, which is my fantasy series based on Slavic mythology. This week, Slavic Saturday returns with a first of a series of dragons we'll be talking about in Slavic mythology, and that is the first one being the Aspid, which is a beaked or snake-headed dragon, depending on the story in Slavic mythology. So we're going to talk about this one and then be talking about more dragons in the coming weeks. Before I dive too far into the Aspid though, if you missed last week's video, I revealed the cover of The Rider and the Knight, which is the prequel novella of the Frostmarked Chronicles. If you are interested in grabbing that, you can join my newsletter and get that for free by clicking the links down in the description below. If you'd rather purchase it, it's available for pre-order and will be available widely on May 15th in both ebook and paperback form. And just again, links are down in the description below for that. Speaking of May 15th, next Saturday is the cover reveal for A Dagger in the Winds, which is the first book in the Frostmarked Chronicles. I've been talking about this book for many months now, and it is so exciting to finally be able to reveal the cover to you guys. So make sure you check out that video next week. It'll be a really unique and exciting announcement that I hope everyone will be able to have fun with. You can currently pre-order the ebook copies down in the links in the description below. Signed copies of the paperback and hardcover copies can also be purchased down in the link in the description below. All hardcover signed pre-orders receive a free copy of The Rider and Knight in paperback as well as an art piece with a note from me thanking you for purchasing the book, with the main illustration for the series as well. So make sure you check out all those things down in the description below. But now let's dive into talking about the Aspid. So the Aspid suffers from a similar problem to much of Slavic mythology, which is a lack of primary sources. Much of Slavic mythology has been a generational game of telephone, and that's led to different stories both through different regions, but also just within the same regions not necessarily having the same exact story. And the Aspid is one of those things. We know it's a dragon in Slavic mythology, but what type of dragon it is depends on the story. Some say that it is a bird-like dragon with a beak and feathers, sometimes on top of the scales of the dragon. Other times people say that it is a snake-headed dragon, which is kind of interesting. Dragons tend to have this reptilian serpent-like form anyway, but it has a viper-type head. And these are kind of two very contrasting stories, but kind of show the interesting thing of a animal-headed dragon. Regardless of the form though, the Aspid is able to breathe fire either through its beak or its snake head and cause a lot of destruction. That being said, it tends to be more of a mountain-based, distant creature that really isn't supposed to be around, but it can cause a lot of destruction if it comes down from the mountains. Either its wings or its hide are thought to be made of precious gems and jewels that can cause it to be very difficult to kill because it's thought that this is kind of impenetrable. And lastly, there's two different stories. Sometimes it's a single-headed beast, sometimes it's a multi-headed beast, tending to be either one or two heads, and this could be either with the bird heads or the snake heads. So dragons with different types of animal elements aren't all that rare in mythology across Europe. For example, the Cockatrice in England is known to have a rooster head and a dragon body. In this case, though, it doesn't really have the powers of a dragon, being able to breathe fire and things like that. It tends to have more of the powers of the Greek Medusa, freezing people into stone, which is just kind of an interesting story as well. There's also another type of dragon from Slavic and also Lithuanian mythology called the Hvar, which was a kind of shape-shifting dragon that was much smaller and a fan of stealing things. I've thought that while it was flying away, sometimes there'd be sparks that would fly behind it, making it look almost like a shooting star. And it would also be a shapeshifter, so if you gave it the right gift, potentially it could be a household spirit, and sometimes that spirit would look like a rooster or another animal within the house. So there are many different type of stories within Slavic or other mythos ideas about animal elements being with the dragons as well, and the Aspid is no different. It's unknown how the Christianization impacted the idea of the Aspid. It could have been originally the bird-like thing and then influenced to be a serpent, because it being a more negative and destructive thing, potentially attached to the devil, who was also attached to serpents and things like that. But in Slavic mythology as well, there's this common aspect of the idea of serpents as well, connected to Valus, with his fight against Perun, who's pictured as an eagle, and Valus pictured as either a serpent or a dragon. So there's the serpent-headed dragon that can appear in Slavic mythology as well, so there could be connections between these various forms. We don't know, again, because this is mostly oral history. In stories about the Aspid, it was thought to be, again, incredibly difficult to kill or impossible to kill with that very tough hide. And so when it attacked, the idea is sometimes people thought you would have to trick it into going into a pit that could have a lot of very hot iron or other type of metal poles that would kind of poke it a lot of places with the hot ends and would drive it away. That was one story about that, but it wouldn't kill it necessarily. And the only one who really has thought to have an actual victory against the Aspid is Dashbog, god of the sun. And that's because the Aspid went after Dashbog's taking three women from him. Potentially this could be the Zorza or the Zoria, which are three daughters of his, or two daughters of his, depending on the story. Or it could just be three other women. In this case, it was thought that Aspid took these women. Dashbog chased after the Aspid and defeated him. But the Aspid decided to then take three different princesses from across different realms of the earth and then decided to take them into Koche the Deathless's kingdom, which again is an interesting other story. I'm not sure how much this is just, mixing different folklore and thing, but it's kind of fun to see Koche's story, which is a really famous story, mixed in with the Aspid here. And it's interesting to just see the different ideas of what the Aspid could be, a trickster element, just kind of like the Hvar. It seems like dragon-like elements where they could be both tricksters and very destructive creatures as well. So in my own stories, if you've already read The Rider in the Night, you know that the Aspid makes an appearance in that story. Without going into spoilers of what form that takes, the appearance of the Aspid I have chosen to be a more bird-like element because I found it a little bit more unique. There are other serpent-like dragons that appear throughout Slavic mythology, so I wanted to have the bird-like one to make the Aspid a little bit more unique than some of the other ones that will appear throughout the series. Because both the Aspid and other dragons will be appearing in Book 2 and later, not as much in Book 1, but you can make sure to know that there will be dragons throughout the series, and that's why I'm excited to talk about them in the coming videos as well. And that's all I have for you today on this Slavic Saturday video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to like and subscribe down below. I come out with these videos every Saturday, and next Saturday, I'm looking forward to the cover reveal of A Dagger in the Winds, so please make sure to check that out next week. It's going to be a really fun event. I hope everyone enjoys it, and I will see you all then.